line.
You know what they say you work it out in Portland.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did read that. That was weird. I don't know. He couldn't be. I guess they think they don't have food in Portland.
Stop it.
Hurt it. How you choking, hurt it.
Game 2 of our double dip. Clippers and the Suns.
What are those donuts called?
Donuts.
They'll have the Ben what?
Beignets.
Devin Booker.
Hey, I tell you that.
All right, man. Before I make this video and before I say a thing, I want to preference this video by saying this is not a fat shaming video at all. Like, sure, it's funny to see Shaq and Chuck, two players that actually battle weight problems themselves. It's funny to see them do it, but as for me, I just want to keep this video strictly fact-based and add some context as to why I'm making this video and things like that. It's nothing about fat shaming or anything like that at all. Going on 2 years ago, while Zion was on top of the world, averaging all these points in his first 20, 15 games, stuff like that, I dropped a video titled The Zion Williamson Trap. And bro, I just have to give myself flowers because everything I said in that video literally came to fruition. In that specific video, the main brief summary of that video was to please pump the brakes on Zion Williamson. Now, I didn't say that because he couldn't play. Like, it was pretty evident that he could. Even after missing his first 44 games, he came back and was averaging this. It had nothing to do with anything on the court particularly. It was more so about the NBA and the media with how they choose these players. One thing the NBA always does, and they're always going to do this, they're always going to choose who has next. And I know it's for branding and advertising purposes and things like that. As the older players age out, they need new fresh faces for the fans to gravitate to. But they're going to tell you pretty much by marketing and who they put on TV, things like that, who they want to be next. And for that moment, it was Zion Williamson. I know we all remember that. In 2018, even, they wanted it to be Lonzo, but even though that didn't really happen, who was it? It was Ben Simmons, the next Magic Johnson, with him playing with Joel Embiid and him being Kareem and Magic and things like that. That was the new fresh face. Even though he had glaring deficiencies in his game, that was who they wanted to be the next guy. But look at how that aged 4 years later. Like, he's temporarily at least bullied out of the NBA right now, so it didn't really go well. Then in 2019, we had Luka Doncic, where he didn't really have like a clear deficiency in his game. Of course, you could point to his defense, but as we know in basketball, offense and defense, it's not equal, especially with how fans view the game. So he didn't really get bullied or anything like that. Ironically, the only thing he possibly would get bullied for is his weight. Then in 2020, as we know, we had Zion, and then in 2021, we had LaMelo. And right now, it's kind of unorthodox because we have Ja Morant, who is kind of late to the party with how they chose him, but his is different because he earned it. It was like he almost had to break through the door to get recognition. Now let's bring it back to Zion. Pretty much the summary of that video, like I said, in 2020 was basically that the media, they love you and they will ignore any problem you may have while choosing you until that problem becomes no longer ignorable. Ben Simmons is just the perfect example of this very same thing, bro. I'm sorry. A 6'10" point guard that was the NBA media darling, got all the comparisons to Magic Johnson, LeBron, can defend at a high level, facilitate all this, but we knew it was major limitations to his offensive skill set. But with all the success that he had so early, we thought to ourselves, there's no way it doesn't go up from there, but it never did. The problem with you having success, even though you have major problems in your game that has to be addressed, is that success's best friend is contentment. So if you're having success while you still have these problems, why the hell would you ever look to improve? I think that's exactly what happened with Ben Simmons. Also in that video, another reason why I just have to give myself a little bit of flowers, bro. I just have to. I talked about Giannis, and I kind of predicted exactly what happened in that very same season. Mind you, this was at the time where Giannis just won the MVP. He was on pace to win his second MVP, which he did. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. His team had the best record in the league. All this stuff that we loved him for. But I said in that video, if he comes up short, say in the second round, that's what I said in the video, which he did actually to Miami, we're going to trash him for the exact same thing that we did the year prior. This is why I respect and love Giannis so much, bro. I'm a big fan because he constantly added elements to his game. His mid-range shooting, his post-up game, his outside shooting. Even though it's not the best percentage-wise, he still shoots it so confidently and he makes timely threes where you just have to respect it. His free throw shooting. Last year, we all know the theme of last year with Giannis was counting down the free throws and all that. He sped it up and he became a much better free throw shooter after he just won the Finals MVP in the most dominant way possible last year. He had a 50-point game series closing game. Like, he still came back and got better. Another player that I feel like is kind of going through this, and I'm not saying this in a bully way, I'm just being honest and pretty much making my point. Russell Westbrook. This man has had so much success with how he plays that it almost made him delusional in a way where he doesn't even understand the stuff that he does detrimental to his team. For example, back then when he played with Kevin Durant, this man made conference finals, this man made the NBA finals, Kevin Durant won the MVP, they did all this great stuff, and then even when Kevin Durant left, he averaged a triple-double 4 out of the last 5 seasons and won an MVP. Why the hell do you think he would ever think that he's a problem? He would never think that. It's not possible. Now you throw him in what's supposed to be a winning environment where putting up numbers and having all these crazy averages is just not enough, and you asked him to be a compliment to all these other stars. He doesn't even understand certain stuff that he's doing wrong. Like I said, when he said, y'all expect me to average 25, 15, and 15 or something like that, and that's just not possible, that's when I realized, like, damn, we kind of rotten his brain. He doesn't even understand. He's forced literally to address those 5 turnovers a game that he averaged while putting up those numbers, but nobody cared. He's forced to not linger around the basket chasing boards instead of being, a perimeter defender guarding your guy. He's forced to be more selective with his shots because he doesn't have a plethora of reps that he can just shoot every other play, and nobody cares because he's Russell Westbrook. Now you're asking him to play winning basketball, which he really never had to do. So for Zion, even though I never really thought he played actual basketball games overweight, we always knew he was pretty damn close. One injury, which often leads to weight gain, that's not abnormal. Like, if you are injured and you're not playing basketball, it's pretty normal for you to gain weight. One injury to a borderline overweight player is going to push him to being overweight. Now he's rehabbing from a foot injury away from the team, an injury that some people speculate is because of his weight. They keep showing this Zach LaVine commercial with him sitting on the couch playing the game, which is just a bad look. He's already missed the first 50 games, and like I said, when you're injured, it's typically normal for you to gain weight, but if you're borderline overweight already, it looks even worse. Lastly, and I knew this would happen, bro, I just did. Look at who he got drafted with, and specifically who he got drafted right in front of. I don't care if you're a Zion Williamson stan, because they still somehow think, oh, he's the best long-term investment, just give him some time, all this. Bro, Zion, he hasn't even hit the peak that Ja Morant is right now, and mainly, most of that is because he hasn't even played games. Ja Morant, his team has constantly gotten better every single year. His first year, made the play-in, almost beat Portland. Second year, made the play-in, did beat Golden State, averaged 30 against Utah this year. He has an MVP campaign, damn near matching up with Giannis, Jokic, all of them, and his team is like third in the West. I don't want to hear about the Zion Williamson, Ja Morant thing. Like, you can just close the door on that at least right now. I don't want to compare Zion Williamson to Greg Oden or anything like that, but it's kind of like Kevin Durant. The more success Ja Morant has, the more you're going to question, damn, who got drafted over this dude? Well, the dude that got drafted over him doesn't even play games because he's always injured. So, like I said, the more Ja Morant succeeds, the more spotlight it puts on Zion Williamson never even really playing games because he's always injured. If you guys like this video, comment what you guys think, and make sure you guys go check out the video I dropped 2 years ago, because I really believe I kind of predicted this, man. Like, I feel like I really did. Make sure you guys follow my social media sites, turn on post notification, guys, do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, as always, stay tuned.